Good morning, everybody. Welcome to T24 Performance Tuning events. We're really excited to have you guys with us this morning. And today is going to be primarily focused in helping you improve and optimize your core banking experience and the entities and aspects of everything around that you need to be responsible for or you're accountable for. And we're going to have a jam-packed event that we have put some of the best speakers in a room for 90 minutes. And it's really going to be fantastic. The type of insights that you're going to be acquiring today, ranging from how do you observe in an automatic fashion the information that you have on T24 as plus any of your other investments, shifting into the cloud, and then being able to ensure that you optimize your experience so that you don't have problems in production, and getting best of the best benchmarks, as well as some insights into what can be experienced with T24. It's going to be a really exciting event. I'm looking forward to what I'm going to be seeing today. And my name is Calvin Klein. I will be your host for the event alongside Andrew Pizzula from Performetriks. I'm coming from Mediro ICT, sole distributor of Dynatrace across sub-Saharan Africa. And we just mad about performance, and we hope that you are too. So enjoy the event today. Looking forward to having you guys take these insights and adapt them within your environment. And as we range through this event today, if you feel like reaching out to any one of us in whichever area that you're struggling with or you want to get additional value from, please feel free to drop us a comment and to reach out to us on LinkedIn or on email, and we will definitely walk you through this journey after this session. And that's it. I would like to introduce Andrew Pizzula from Performetriks, who's a performance and security engineer at Performetriks, who will be taking us through what we're going to be achieving today, and I'm looking forward to that. So Andrew, over to you.
Thank you so much, Kelvin. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited that you have decided to invest your time today to take part in the core banking performance optimization event. As Kelvin mentioned, my name is Andrew Pizzula and I'm performance engineer in Performetriks. I'm representing the Canadian region of the Performetriks. So Performetriks is performance engineering consulting service provider. We help customers around the globe to solve performance issues. We specialize in optimizing applications mostly related to the finance industry. We recognize the power and necessity of discussing a core banking performance topic. I believe that during the session, you will gain unique knowledge, which will help you with performance issues that plenty of us are facing in the core banking platforms. Now, I will briefly share with you what you can expect within the next 1.5 hours that we'll spend together and the agenda of the event. So we'll start from Temenos Transact topic presented by Entcomputing, where Sibyl will give us a deep dive into the subject and share her experience. Next, Kelvin from Mediro will share good news about the Dynatrace, one of the greatest observability platforms where you can learn how this solution can help success your organization. After Kelvin, the microphone will be handed over to Giuseppe from Akamas, who will inspire us and tell us about continuous performance optimization and the great value in the Akamas solution. Last but not least, the event scene will welcome Joseph, the founder of the Performetriks, who will share success story about the T24 Transacts performance optimization. In the end, we'll have a Q&A session when we will be answering the questions from the audience. So we'll be answering the questions from you. So please feel free to use the Q&A to ask the questions. And after that, we'll be happy to answer all of them.
And today I'll be talking about how to execute continuous optimization, also leveraging AI. This is myself. The agenda is pretty simple. I'll talk about the problem that we want to address, and then I'll explain briefly how Akamas provides a good approach for solving that problem. And of course, I'll take questions either during the presentation or afterwards. So the problem, I think we can start by acknowledging that tuning application is getting harder and harder these days. There are multiple reasons for that. The first one is the number of parameters, tunables, even including also cloud instance options, is growing day by day, year by year. Also, when you tune a complex application, it's very difficult to anticipate what will be the change, the effect of the change. There might be also some unpredictable effects. This is a very simple chart describing the relationship between the cache size and the database throughput. Surprisingly, if you reduce the cache size, you get a better throughput, which is unexpected. And we all know that default values provided by the vendors do not apply to real-world production environment under your very specific workloads. Plus, the tuning activity is also made more difficult as we are experiencing faster release date cycles and rates. So if we were, just a few years ago, releasing every 3 months and then every month, is not rare that we are releasing application every week. That clearly makes any manual approach to tuning application very, very difficult. And there's also an additional challenge represented by the new cloud-native application. Applications are now based on a multitude of different microservices, dozens of 100 of microservices. So tuning each one of those microservices may take, so customers tell us, weeks or even months. And of course, Kubernetes, if that is the orchestration platform used, as is typically the one selected by customers, there are also some specific challenges in terms of how do I specify resource requests and limits, and the implication of doing so in a proper way could be also impacting not just performance, but also availability. So very, very difficult challenge. And it is often not just about performance or resilience. There are other factors that should be also taken into account, including the overall cost and the SLOs, what are the qualities of service that I'm delivering to my customers. And here is also where there are multiple roles in the organization, each one taking his own perspective about delivering as fast as possible those new features, making sure that the service is well tuned and provides the expected response time or throughput, but also that we are keeping the cloud bill as small as possible, and again taking care of customer perspective, satisfaction, all those factors, plus the amount of time it takes to deliver those new application and features. So all those different factors are difficult to balance. The implication could be that we are releasing applications that are not as cost effective as they could, and we might fail in competing against other vendors, other players in the market. Plus, we may miss the opportunity for improving our operational efficiency. That's where we started with Akamas. We had a company with more than 20 years of expertise in performance, capacity management, optimization. So we decided it was time for leveraging AI and design an optimization platform that could be addressing all the different scenarios for improving service quality, for increasing business agility, delivering faster with quality, increasing service resilience. This is a hot topic these days, but also helping customers to reduce the IT cost, the cloud bills, or helping them to migrate to the cloud in an optimal way, and also improving the operational efficiency of their own teams. We do so by providing recommended configuration and also optimization insights that help those different teams in understanding potential trade-offs and support their decision process. This configuration are recommended so they can be human approved, so the human can be in the loop, but they can also be incorporated in your delivery pipeline. So this would be a continuous optimization process. And we also allow the Akamas to be running in autopilot mode fully autonomously. And this can be applied either in test pre-production environment and production environment. Let me describe how that works for a pre-production environment. We basically are executing in that pre-production environment some experiments, and every experiment is basically structured in 5 different steps. In the very first one, we do apply a configuration. As you can see, we do not directly touch the target system. I'm only listing some of the technologies that we can manage. Actually, we like to mention that we are full scale, full stack optimization, potentially optimizing any technology, definitely vendor agnostic from any perspective. And this configuration gets applied by any configuration management tool you may have in your environment. Plus, the second step would be applying a workload to that environment under that configuration. Here, we can integrate a multitude of different load testing solutions, including native integration to Load Runner, Locus, Neoload, JMeter, and so on. And we also take metrics from telemetry providers. This could be, again, Dynatrace. Very often, that is the solution we find, or even from Prometheus or CSV files. We do not touch directly the system, so we are fully agentless. But by integrating in your ecosystem, we can apply this approach by applying the configuration, applying the workload, collecting the metrics, at this point, scoring that configuration against the goal. You can define the goals based on your criteria, your need for reducing the cost or improving transactions. And this is where the AI comes into the picture in the fifth step of this experiment, by identifying the next recommended configuration. So if you look at this chart, which is taken from the Akamas UI, you see that our first experiment is running what we call the baseline configuration. This is the configuration that which is already in place. So that is providing the baseline with respect to improvements provided by Akamas. And each dot in that chart represents an experiment. As you can see, we are guided here by an optimization goal about maximizing transactions and cost. And reducing costs, of course. And as you can see, in just few experiments, we were already providing some improvements. But after 24 hours, about 35 experiments, we achieved a 77% improvement in terms of ratio between transactions and cost. So very effective approach, without any human intervention, without necessarily having any specific knowledge of the environment. Just by integrating to your ecosystem, we can improve immediately the configuration of your environment without touching the code. So simply by tuning all the different tunable at the different levels. And this is basically the major outcome of the Akamas. First of all, you will get the recommended configuration. As you can see, in this case, we were achieving 49.1 improvement. This was a cost optimization, specific optimization for a Kubernetes microservice-based Java application. But we also get some insights in terms of potentially suboptimal configuration, which may still deliver some value, for example, improving in terms of throughput while still providing some valuable cost reductions, if that was the goal that we wanted to achieve. So very simple. This can be applied automatically or included in your CI/CD pipeline, so that before releasing the new application, this optimization is executed automatically. And of course, the different results, the metrics may vary very much from any customer, any specific environment, depending on the goal. Those numbers that I'm showing here are just average values in terms of service throughput, service quality, response time, also associated with lower fluctuations and peaks, cost reduction, very hot topic these days, and general operational efficiency, making your team able to do more with less. And you see some of the logos. If you're interested in some of those stories, you may find some interesting case studies published on our website. So you are very welcome to go to our website, akamas.io, and download them. I also encourage you to read some of the stories that our customer published on the Gartner Peer Insight portal, if you're familiar with that portal. And finally, we do have a free trial initiative. So if you want to get your hands directly on the product and experience how much Akamas can help you to optimize your environment quickly, that is basically a recommended first step. Let me stop here in case there's any immediate question we want to take, or I'll pass the ball and maybe take the question as the end.
But right now, for all of us on the session, it is Q&A time. And we're going to be welcoming back every single one of the panelists onto the stage. And we're going to be going through your questions live, where we can actually discuss it, we can debate it, we can give you the insights that you'd like. And Andrew, welcome, as you're going to be taking us through, you know, some of the questions that everyone has brought up for us. Giuseppe, welcome back.
Thank you.
Siebel, welcome back. And there we go, we have all the panelists. And I'm going to be handing over to you, Andrew, to just tell us, you know, what questions have we got so far that we can answer as a team?
Thank you so much, Kelvin. That was fantastic session. And we know that performance domain, this is tough job, but someone needs to do that. And sharing that unique knowledge, all of you done fantastic job. So I'm very pleased that I'm the part of this event. We have a couple of very interesting questions, and the first questions will be for Akamas. So Giuseppe, we have a questions from the user who is asking if Akamas suggest code changes.
No, as I mentioned, we don't need to apply any code change, which doesn't mean that code changes might not be required, but we don't need to. And in our experience, even when there might be an opportunity for improving the application in the first place, in the code at the code level, still there is plenty of space for improving in terms of performance, resilience, cost, you name it, by just adjusting all the different tunables. And as I mentioned, fortunately or likely, there are hundreds of those tunables. Now the challenge is that cannot be done manually. And it cannot be done in the short time frame which is made available for delivering the application. So that's where we come into the picture and help make that process of finding the optimal configuration according to your specific goal, because at the given stage, the company might be focused on reducing the cloud bill, but later on they might find improving the user experience a more important goal. So goals can change over time. Finding that optimal configuration which aligns to your company goals. And resilience is also, I should mention, a very important topic. We are also working with the likes of Gremlin, because of course, with chaos engineering, you might find some failure scenarios, and then you need to find a solution in case those failures happen. And maybe you want to change the configuration as those failures happen to make sure that you can maximize the resiliency of our application. But thanks for the question. That was useful to clarify, I guess, some few points.
Thank you so much, Giuseppe. And now I will have a question for